way down to your mat, already starting to find this transition from whatever your day, whatever your week has looked like up until this moment, and making a commitment to just showing up completely present, fully accountable, full body awareness, we often call it as well. So coming down, you notice how we put the sit bones onto the earth, moving the fleshy part of the bottom, placing the feet down onto the ground, maybe using the hands for support, or just bringing your hands behind your thighs and slowly uncoiling the spine until the entire vertebra are touching. Maybe walk the shoulders out here just a little bit, let the legs go nice and long. Release any tension in the hips by just letting the legs open wide, bringing the arms down alongside you. Tucking the chin gently into the chest, elongate the back of the neck, remembering that obviously that's part of the spine, so we're trying to find this length. And then just close your eyes. Honor the too busy, especially when it comes to taking a moment for yourself. You might notice when you arrive in this shape, in this space, in this time, that what we call the monkey brain is just going full steam ahead. Maybe early on into the transition from your day to your mat, you have all these questions of, should you be doing this right now? Maybe you should be doing something else. Maybe your to-do list seems extremely long and it seems like a waste of time or selfish use of time to just hit that pause button. If you're finding yourself in any way, shape, or form relating to any of that, I encourage you to trust and believe that you definitely have made the right choice, and that by showing up for just this little bit of time for yourself, the rest of your day, the rest of your week will go smoother, turning out to be more productive, and in the end, receiving the result that it is that you're looking for. But for right now, I encourage you to let all these thoughts float around into your mind. And then we're going to do probably something a lot of you are familiar with, maybe more so in cleaning of your house or decluttering of your house, but I find it to be relevant here. And we're going to kind of adopt this mantra for our practice today, that we are going to Marie Kondo our mind. So if you're not familiar with this cleaning tactic or this organizing tactic, it might not resonate with you, but bear with me. I want you to take a moment and just recognize all the thoughts that are floating through your mind. Don't meet what you find with judgment or labels. Don't try to categorize it as good or bad. Just become the observer of all these thoughts floating around in your mind. Noticing how when we have a cluttered mind or a full mind, it might feel as though we can't process. It might feel draining. Thinking of how it steals our energy by having all this clutter in our mind. Maybe you're spending a lot of time over analyzing the past, second guessing every choice, every decision, every interaction that you've had, and holding space for that in your mind, critiquing yourself, judging yourself. I encourage you to let that go. Maybe you're taking up space in your mind with anxious thoughts of what's to come, trying to plan and predict every detail of what hasn't happened yet, thinking that if we spend this energy, this time doing so, we can avoid any failures or any feelings of sadness or anything less than quote-unquote perfect. Once again, through our yoga practice, we're going to just focus on coming back to the right here, the right now. Clearing the mind of any anxious thoughts, letting go of anything in the past, imagining emptying your entire mind so that it's clear and calm, and it can come to the present moment. Now, obviously, this is a lot easier said than done, and that's why we call it a practice. Inevitably, as we begin to find movement and flow, thoughts will start to creep back in. And once again, I invite you to meet it without judgment, without labels, and just allow for that thought to spend a moment or two within you. Recognizing if this thought serves you or if this thought brings you joy. Throughout our practice, we'll simply be allowing the things back into our mind that brings us joy, that cultivates our calm, and that helps promote our inner peace. And anything that we hold that does not do that, we're simply going to allow it to go, just like our exhale breath, so that at the end of the practice, we can find ourselves with a less cluttered mind and just a more present being. Throughout our practice, I also encourage you maybe to adopt a mantra. This is just one of the many tools that we use in yoga to help bring the brain back to now. Because once again, if this is a difficult task for you to do today, please know that it's difficult for everyone. Everyone's going to have days where it's very hard to turn off their mind. So there's no getting great at it. It's just something that you continue to show up in practice. Starting to bring a little bit more awareness into the body, just go ahead and move the feet, roll the ankles, point and flex the toes. Maybe you hear some creaking, some popping in the joints. Keeping the eyes closed to really investigate the physical body with a curiosity that is looking to release anything you're holding on to within the body. A lot of times, stress and tension in our life can manifest into physical issues. So you might feel tightness, you might feel this gripping sensation. Though that's what we're searching for here to release. So again, just continue to meet your body with curiosity. Maybe your mantra today is, I am happy, I am healthy, I am calm. Remembering that whole body wellness and health is more than just how we move the physical body. It's how we think, how we feel, and where we divert or direct our energy to. It might sound silly, it might feel silly to have this mantra, to repeat it, because maybe you don't necessarily fully believe it just yet. Your body and your mind will start to believe it before you do, so I encourage you to stick with it and continue to use it just like we use our other tools. On an inhale breath, let's reach our arms all the way overhead. Get nice and long here. Reach through your fingertips, move the body in any way that serves you. Roll out the wrist, point, flex the feet, move the hips a little side to side. Get big. Oftentimes when we're feeling stressed, overwhelmed, or anxious, we close in. We round the shoulders. We make ourselves small, as if this will once again protect us from any hurt or discomfort. Today's practice is going to invite you to get big, get vulnerable, be brave, and trust within yourself. Nice work. As you exhale, hands come down alongside the body. As you inhale, bring the soles of the feet together. Let the knees go out nice and wide. Now this is going to start to begin to open up the hips here. Be mindful of arching that lower back. Try to sink back down into the earth. The back's going to lift just slightly off the ground. If you're feeling very, very tight in the hips, I encourage you to draw the feet closer to the end of the mat, making more of a diamond shape in the legs. If you're feeling pretty good here in the hips, you might want to walk the heels a little closer into the body. Now when you're in this reclined butterfly, if it feels good to find slight movement, you might find a little movement within the legs here. You can flutter your wings, so to speak, and just notice how immediately the sensations turn on. This might be a sensation of opening. Your hips might start speaking to you. If you've taken class with me before, you're likely aware that I speak a lot on how our bodies hold on to our tension, our stress within our hips, especially emotional. So again, coming into the holiday season, if you're finding that your emotional body is very anxious, very stressed, you might feel that physically within your hips. Support yourself here by just letting gravity slowly start to open it up. Taking 3 deep cleansing breaths, taking the inhale through the nose, exhale through the nose. And if that's not available, try just inhale through the nose, maybe open mouth, let it go. One more just like that. Finding surrender, releasing. Nice work. Use your hands to come to the outside of your legs. Slowly close the book, so to speak, here. And we're going to take the arms out to the side like a T. So palms facing down. We're just going to windshield wiper the legs side to side. So coming onto the glutes, lifting the legs, just going side to side, getting a little massage in the low back, in the glutes, and kind of just starting to twist out the spine. Try not to grip into your hands, but use the upper body to help anchor the shoulders, staying down, so we can achieve that twist into the spine that we're looking for. Wonderful work. The next time your knees drop to the right, we're going to have them hang out there for a second. So we're going to let the knees drop over to the right. Right hand is going to come up on top of the left thigh. Hold here. Now it might feel nice for you to turn to look past the left shoulder, helping ground that left shoulder down. If your knees can't touch the earth, this is where I would invite you to bring a block, a pillow, a blanket, something that you can place underneath your legs so that they can really ground into. Twists are a phenomenal way to kind of just think about a sponge, rinsing out the energy of our spine, opening up that channel so it can just flow freely. A lot of times when we feel stressed out or anxious, we can also feel stuck within our body. It almost feels like there's an object in the way. That very much is your stress just manifesting in a physical form. So as you move today, bring your breath, and with each exhale, imagine just releasing a little bit more, going a little bit deeper with each breath. Nice work. As you inhale, use your core for support. Slowly come up through center. As we exhale, knees are going to fall to the left. If you need to shift your hips a little bit, feel free to do so. Left hand comes to the top of the right leg. Right arm reaches out to the side. We gaze past right fingers. If this is causing any tension into your neck, feel free to bring the head back into a neutral position. And then just bring some awareness to that right shoulder, grounding into the earth. Nice open palm here, beginning to just engage that full body awareness. Very clearly, there's probably sensations coming around that right hip, into the glutes, into the back. But that doesn't mean that we forget about what's happening in the upper body. This scanning, this full body awareness is one of the ways we can invite the mind to stay here by just constantly scanning, using the breath to help release a little bit deeper, drawing the navel into the spine as you inhale, and as you exhale, maybe bringing a little extra sensation, left palm to right leg, helping produce a deeper twist as that right shoulder sinks into the ground. And inhale is going to bring you all the way back up through center. Use your core for support. Place the feet down onto the ground, and if you shifted your hips at all, press into the feet. Bring your hips back to the center of the mat. Lower them down with control. As you inhale, lifting both legs up, shins are going to be parallel to the ground. Right foot is going to bend, or right knee is going to bend, pardon me, and the pinky toe is going to come on top of left thigh. Now, depending on where you're at today, will decide how straight our left leg gets. If we can bring that shin 90 degrees to the ground, go ahead and do so. Flex the toes back to your face, and then start to flex the right foot as well, coming into a reclined pigeon. Knee is bent on the right side, and you might find that pressing out that right knee on the exhale breath supports this posture. Now, if this is too much to you, you can drop left foot down to the ground, coming into more of a figure four, especially if you're lifting and noticing that right knee is coming into center with very little opportunity to push out. Drop the left foot back down to the ground so that you can really start to press that right knee away, coming into the outside pocket of that right hip. If you are lifted, think about sinking your navel back down to your spine, keeping your spine as flat to the ground, especially your low back, as possible. Now, if you can mindfully press that right hand or right knee out without your hand, maybe you interlace behind the left thigh and start to pull the whole concoction in, slightly lifting the tailbone, but also still pressing this right knee out. So we have a lot going on here. And at the same time, we're not drawing any tension into the upper body. So shoulders are not kissing the ears. They're nice and relaxed. Both feet are engaged. And with each breath, the exhale provides a little bit more space to take it a little bit deeper. Each inhale draws the navel to the spine, flattens the spine to the earth. Exhale, breath, pull it in a little deeper. If you're in figure four, the exhale provides the opportunity to push that thigh, that knee out a little bit more. Back is still flat to the ground, left foot is rooted to the earth. Take a few more breaths here. If your mind has turned back on, bring yourself back to the breath. Listen to the sensations of the body and move there. Nice job. We're going to uncoil the legs, but keep them lifted. So if you dropped your left leg, go ahead and come back up with us. We're going to take our right foot to our left calf muscle. So obviously your calf muscle is that big muscle on the back side of your shin. And just now let that left leg go limp. So we're going to just kind of let it go. And you're going to bring your right foot to that calf muscle. Once again, it might feel a little silly at first, but just start to tap the muscle, going up and down the leg. This is a fantastic way to release the fascia within your body. Releasing that soft tissue also activates our parasympathetic nervous system, which is the rest and digest system. Generally speaking, in the world we live in nowadays, we're finding ourselves living more in this fight or flight mode, making our nervous system always on, or always on edge, if you will. This activates and allows for the body to switch that mode, and it's a signal to kind of just restore, release, and rejuvenate. So go ahead and finish tapping out here. And when you're done, we'll bring our feet down to the mat. Take them as wide as your mat, if not a little wider. And on an exhale breath, let the knees come together to touch. Come to the inner arches of the feet. Close the eyes. Feel the sensation. Take 3 deep breaths here. Let it go. What have you been holding on to that you can spend this time releasing? Stay curious to that. Heel toe the feet back onto the mat. We're going to take it to the other side. So if you'd like to do figure 4, once again, you're going to keep your right foot on the ground. Left leg is going to come up and over. And if you want to start here, seeing as we're already all on the ground, so to speak, with the feet, go ahead and do so. I know for me specifically, my left side is tighter, and it's important to honor each side of the body. So a lot of times we show up to life and to our practice with expectations of how things should be, and it gets in the way of us really living in what is. So with your practice here, another way we can show up on and off the mat is to just honor the left side and the right side body. So what we did on the other side is not the roadmap here. The sensations that we're hearing or feeling are. So left foot is up and on top of right thigh, pinky toe to the thigh. Left knee might need some help from the handprint to press out on the exhale. If and when we're ready, inhale draws navel to spine. Core strength helps lift that right leg. I can already feel my left hip singing to me. Interlace your fingers behind that right leg if it's available. Both feet stay nice and active here for me. And as we exhale, start to bend the elbows. You might notice that you're very, very much not moving, but it feels intense. So I encourage you to stay there and breathe. There's definitely a difference between discomfort and sensations of tightness. So if you're feeling any pain, definitely come on down and adjust. But if you're feeling that tightness, if your mind is telling you to abort mission and that this is too much, see if maybe you can just stick around for a few breaths. And then after you spend that time there, taking those deep breaths, did you notice how things start to just open up? Sometimes instead of fighting and pushing, we just have to surrender and trust the process and just once again bring ourselves here. Because if you're right here and you're listening to your body, maybe it actually feels good. Maybe you're just worried that it shouldn't feel like this and that that's a sign that you should stop. But it is, and you're here, and it's beautiful. So coming in a little bit deeper if you have the space to do so. As we exhale, pulling the elbows a little bit deeper. Fantastic job. Releasing that out now, uncoil your legs. This time, left foot is going to find our right calf. So back stays flat to the earth, navel draws into the spine. Really keep that low back connected. Let the activity in that right leg go. So obviously we needed a little lifted to find that calf, but we're not flexing or engaging the leg anymore. From here, left foot is just gonna tap on that big meaty muscle. And usually this is a muscle that maybe we don't pay that much attention to, right? We're thinking about our quads and our hamstrings and our glutes, but really the whole leg supports us quite literally throughout our entire day, standing, walking, especially if you have to wear high heel shoes or anything like that. Releasing this fascia, releasing this tension is doing so much more than just giving your calf muscle a massage. So allow for that to really support your entire nervous system. Allow yourself to have fun with it. Maybe it feels a little silly, especially if it's your first time ever doing it. But again, that's the beauty of your home practice. You can get a little crazy, you can get a little curious, and have some fun. Releasing the feet back down, take it nice and wide on the exhale, knees cave in together, come into the inner arches of the feet, settle here, feel the sensations, notice how it feels to just surrender and let it go. Feeling that in the inner thighs, feeling that deep, deep stretch. Inhale, breath, open up the legs, heel toe the feet back together, and then just very easy, very mindfully come onto the right side of the body, reach the right arm overhead, using the right shoulder like a little bit of a pillow. Knees are slightly bent into the body, coming into the goddess who sleeps, allowing for the spine to transition, finding length once again throughout the entire back. Using your left hand here, start to prop yourself back up, coming all the way up to your seated position, coming to the center of your mat and finding that easy position, maybe crisscross applesauce, maybe knees bent in front of you, whichever supports your spine. As you inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head, place the palms facing up, close the eyes. Let the knees fall open. Notice how maybe your hips are responding to what we've already accomplished so far. Maybe the knees are able to come a little closer to the ground, but at the same time, if you're still showing up here, support your body by propping up underneath or even holding on to the legs to make sure that we don't round the shoulders or lose the length of that spine. Find the center of the crown. Imagine you have that string lifting you high, navel is drawing back in, core supports the back side of the body. Take a few moments here just to breathe, finding that space to transition. If maybe the mind is turned back on, I invite you to come back. Release the clutter of your mind. Let it all go. Bringing right hand to the earth. Stay up on tented fingertips, so no flat palms into the ground. As you inhale, lengthen that left arm up to the sky. Knees stay down. As you exhale, slowly start to bend the body over to the right. Bending into the elbow, still keeping this length as you reach out. Roll the left shoulder back, look past the bicep, anchor that left knee down. As you inhale, bend the elbow. Now open up your chest, squeeze the shoulder blades together. As you exhale, round forward, chin to chest, elbow to knee kiss, or they hover above. Find your breath again, get big as you inhale through the nostrils, open up that chest. Exhale, breath, round in, let it go. One more just like that. Inhale, open up as big as you possibly can, smile. Exhale, chin to chest. This time, drop the left hand down to the ground. Let your arms frame out that right knee. Press back through the tailbone as you elongate through the fingers. Let the head fall. Feel the whole backside of your body open up. Nice job. As you inhale, slowly start to walk yourself back up. Come through center. Roll out the shoulders a few times here, drawing them up to the ears, back and down. Maybe taking it in the opposite direction as well. Once again, organic head movement side to side if that feels good. Left hand comes to the center of the mat. We stay up on those fingerprints as we inhale. Right arm reaches to the sky, right knee to the earth. As you exhale, soften the elbow, extend through the right fingers, roll the right shoulder back, look past the bicep, and go deeper. Once again, that right knee wants to come to the party, right? So it's lifting up as you go into your side bend. Anchor that right knee down to the ground, extend, feel the space opening up through your rib cage, stretch out those intercostal muscles. Now let's take it back to our breath, shall we? Inhale, expand, squeeze the shoulder blades together, feel it in the back, feel the opening in the chest, and as you exhale, think cat pose, chin to chest, round the upper spine, draw the navel back, knee and elbow kiss. Inhale, bring it back, open up. Exhale, chin to chest. You have one more, yes you can. Inhale, get big, take up space, feel your breath fill you up. Now here's your opportunity, let it all go. Exhale, chin to chest, release it out. Surrender right arm to the ground. Walk out in child's pose. Find as much length in the upper body without lifting the lower body. Reach your arms all the way out, stay up on your fingerprints. Maybe an inhale to inflate, look past, and as you exhale, fold. Press right knee down, drop the head, feel all that opening in the right side body, hugging around to the back side body. Take your time as you slowly come back up, restack the spine one vertebra at a time, head stacks over heart at the last second. Shake it out. Nice work. We're going to come into a 90-90 position here. So ideally what we're looking for is to have both legs at a 90-degree angle. I have my right leg in front of me to start, but you can choose whichever works for you. Keeping both feet flexed and or engaged, just like when we were in our reclined pigeon, to protect our knees. Now if this is too much, keep a 90-degree bend in the front leg and maybe draw the heel of your back leg a little closer into your glute. And then slowly within time, we'll start to wake up the ability to extend that other leg. From here, we're going to take our body, shift it so that we frame over that front leg. Right hand is out by the right thigh, left arm is out as well. We're slowly going to walk ourselves over this leg. Now you might not need to go very far before the sensations start to talk to you. So just keep the length in your spine, keep the feet engaged, and slowly start to lower yourself down here. With each exhale, the chest gets closer to the thighs. With each inhale, we draw the navel into the spine. Keeping both feet flexed helps lower this left hip back down to the ground. Nice work. Now bring the right hand behind you slightly, so more in line with your hip. Fingers can point back or forward, whichever is more comfortable to you. As we inhale, I want you to think about circling this left arm back to go up, and if it's within your practice to lift your hips, lift up, get big, reach that arm. Now as you exhale, lower the hips, swim that left arm back all the way to the front, collapse over that right leg. As we inhale, right arm sweeps behind us, left comes all the way around, forming that circle, lifting up the hips. As we exhale, we flow all the way back down, collapse in. Let's try that with our breath again. Inhale, right arm goes back, left circles up, lift the hips, flex your feet, open up the front side of your body. And as you exhale, swim it all the way back, collapse over that right leg, maybe going a little bit deeper. Use your handprints to help you walk all the way back up to center. Kind of shift your weight to your right hip so that we can extend the left leg out long now, flex the foot, and then come back into that center position in the hips as you draw the right foot into the body. Right knee is pointing straight ahead, left toes are pointing towards your face, left leg is now engaged. As we inhale, we reach the arms all the way up overhead, anchor into the lower body. Exhale, turn to look past that left leg and start to fold. Lead with your heart, with your chest. We're not rounding the spine, we're lengthening out. If that looks like right here for you, awesome. If you can come all the way down to your feet, fantastic. If maybe you're right here today and your hamstring is very, very tight, totally okay. Just take your time, slowly come back to the breath. Find the idea of surrendering into the exhale, taking it a little bit deeper. Keep the toes engaging back to the face. Keep that right knee pressing down to the earth. And now on your exhale, let the spine round. Tuck the chin to the chest. Remember the relationship between our chin to the chest and that lower back. Find the curvature in your spine. Nice work. Slowly bringing ourselves all the way back up. Notice how it feels to realign the spine. And then we're going to take the legs in the opposite direction. For me, that means left leg is in front, right leg is behind. You'll notice as I come into this shape, I start to lean over to support my body. I'm totally fine with that because I know I'm going to readjust once I get in. Flexing both feet, finding that 90-degree angle. We're going to start by just walking over that left leg so we can listen and notice how this side of our body feels so that as we start to find our flow, we can move in a supportive way. Maybe we can walk our handprints out a little further here. Maybe you notice that you're really favoring that left side body because you're tight. Try to keep equal awareness in both shoulders and both handprints onto the ground, especially when we start here. Nice work. So to find our flow, we swim that left arm behind us or in line with the hip. And as we inhale, that right hand sweeps in front of us. We lift the hips off the ground. We get really big here. And as you exhale, you swim that right arm out in front of you. Left comes to join it. We surrender for a moment over that left leg. The inhale opens us back up. Reach up to the sky. Press the hips forward. As you exhale, swim all the way down. Left hand maybe kisses the right. And then last one here, big inhale breath. Again, get big. Don't be afraid to take up space. Open up your heart. Exhale, swim it down. Again, maybe option for left hand to come all the way over to meet the right. Sink your chest to that left leg. Feel it in the outside of your left hip. And come back up. That side felt really good, so I stayed there a little longer. My apologies. Shift over to your left leg. Take the right leg out long. Flex the foot. Feel free to move on your mat here if you're like me and you're kind of discombobulated. Flex your right foot. Activate through that leg. You should feel your kneecap lifting as the quad turns on here. Left leg is in front. We're not sitting on our left heel though. Sits bones are firmly grounded into the ground. Inhale, reach up to the sky. Turn to frame that right leg, and as you exhale, begin the journey. So I say begin because you're not going to arrive at that first breath at your final destination, if you will. Hands will frame out the right leg. As we inhale, it's a new invitation to take it somewhere else. Lift up, find length first, and then as you exhale, slowly begin to melt your heart to your thigh, point your toes back to your face, full body awareness, press the left knee, left thigh into the ground. One more big inhale, breath, lengthen here. Now as we exhale, we surrender, let the head fall, roll through the back, tuck the chin into the chest, let your head get very heavy, acting as this natural weight to traction the spine, opening up specifically that low back. You likely start to feel this in the side body as well, opening up through the rib cage. If you need to take it deeper into the side body, cross the left arm over to find the outside of the right ankle. Nice work. Take your time, use your handprints, engage your core to support your spine as you come back up. A lot of times we find back injuries happening because we're moving without that awareness and trying to go too fast. So definitely take your mind to your spine and move in a way that supports it. Legs are going to be out in front when you arrive. Go ahead again, move the sits bones or the fleshy part of the booty so the sits bones can really connect to the ground. Hands are going to come behind the knees, and we're just going to gently lift the legs just a little bit, bringing a gentle bend into the legs. We're going to take a forward fold here, but instead of this being more so for our legs, it's going to be for our spine. So as we inhale, we still find the length, and this time as we exhale, we're just going to let the torso rest on top of the legs. A lot of times when we do these forward folds, or what we were just doing with single leg folds, sometimes a tight hamstring can prevent us from getting into our spine because we can't take it there. So let this be for your back. I'll turn to the side here so you can see the bend in my legs, because I really want you to support this back coming onto your legs as best as you can. From here, you're going to let the head fall. Now, if you really need to get into your back, if it's really tight, plant the feet onto the ground, bring the feet hip distance apart, and then bring your arms underneath your legs and really let the head fall. Almost like the insides of your knees are going to be earmuffs here. So you're dropping your head, really opening up your back. Either option is designed to bring space to the discs. A lot of times that compression over time just comes from life, from gravity quite literally weighing us down, which can cause tension, which can cause discomfort, which can manifest all different types of imbalances within our body. So yoga, one of the more beautiful things about it, or most beautiful thing about it, is it invites us to use our breath to bring space back in. By bringing space back into the body, we can help our body combat inflammation, which again is kind of the precursor to a bunch of other things that are happening, in the body that aren't supposed to. So if for anything else, that long-winded statement makes sense, just think about each breath providing space, and then with each exhale, that space that you created lets you go a little bit further. So maybe hands come to the knife edge of the feet, and when we inhale, we lengthen through the heart, lift up through the spine, and as you exhale, start to bend the knees. No tension to the shoulders, but maybe there's a gentle pull happening, letting your heart get closer to those knees, feeling the thighs touch the torso press into the thighs. Nice work. Slowly coming all the way back up to sit. I'm going to swing back around here. You can extend the legs, shake them out here a little bit. And that same concept of releasing the fascia or the soft tissue that we did in our calf muscle, I want you to bring your hands to fists, okay? And we're just going to start up by the hips, coming to the outside of the leg. And once again, there's no right or wrong way. So, maybe you go one at a time. Maybe you find a rhythm here that serves you. Maybe there's a specific part of the leg that's extra sore if you stay there for a few moments. But just imagine that the soreness you feel within your legs, if there is any there, is just grouped up tension. And every time we tap the legs, we're starting to break it up. We're starting to release it within the body so that the body can perform its natural functions to release it, to let it go, so that we don't need to hold on to it anymore, and we can make space for growth, for new, and all that exciting stuff. So a couple more seconds here, just to let it all go. Nice work. Now take a second, bring the hands out next to you, and find stillness. Close your eyes. Let the legs go. You can point the toes, however they just fall when you release. Maybe even let your spine round just a little bit. Feel maybe that tingling sensation in the legs. That's your nervous system working for you, sending those signals throughout the body that it's okay to relax. It's okay to rest. That we don't have to be constantly on warding off the next stressor. But if we just work with our body and we surrender, the bigger picture is going to work itself out. Just don't miss all the moments till you get there. Bring yourself to all fours when you're ready. Stack your shoulders over your wrist. Open up those handprints as wide as you can. Take up, again, space. Notice that theme here. You're not meant to stay small. Knees are underneath your hip points. Toes are either tucked or soles or tops of the feet, pardon me, are pressing firmly into the ground. Taking it back to our breath, back to my favorite, cat-cow. Inhale, tilt the pelvic bone down. Lift up through your tailbone. Look up through the chest. Press into the feet. Look up. Now as you exhale, tuck the tailbone. Press into the feet. Press into the hands. Lift that upper back. Now likely, you've done cat or cow. Continue to move here with your breath. Likely you've done the cat-cow sequence probably 100 different times in your life. Sometimes when we do something over and over again, the mind turns into autopilot. We're no longer really experiencing what we're going through. We're just reliving what it felt like before. And when we do that, we are attaching our mind to our past experiences versus being right here. So how can this cat-cow feel different and or like you are doing it for the first time? Maybe that means you're finding a natural rhythm that supports the ebb and flow of the flexion and extension of your spine. Maybe you're just closing the eyes and using that beautiful, brilliant imagination of yours to vividly see the spine on the inside flexing, seeing the movement of each vertebra as you connect it to your breath. Maybe you're feeling your shoulder blades expand for the first time. Maybe you're starting to learn how to corkscrew your handprints so that you can find that internal rotation in your upper body that we look to achieve here. But whatever it is for you, make it new, make it now. Allow it to bring you back to right here. 2 more breath cycles. Not intended to rush you by telling you that, so take your time. In fact, make it take as long as you possibly can. Coming back to a neutral spine after your second exhale. Shouldn't have too much shift in your alignment, but go ahead and just check in here, making sure you're still stacked where we need to be, taking it into bird dog. Taking left leg out behind you. Start with toes tucked under. Really enjoy this stretch. So if you need to, find a little movement, pressing back into that heel, feeling the length through that calf muscle. Once again, we kind of opened up that calf muscle with our tapping. So really come deep into that stretch. Push back. And then maybe you come a little bit forward, just starting to place some pressure onto your wrists. Using your fingerprints here though, so that we're not caving into the actual wrist. So more so putting the weight into your handprint. And then slowly bringing it back to a neutral position when you're ready. Inhale, breath, lift the left leg. We're flexing the foot now, finding that length through the backside body, pressing your heels if you're stamping your footprint into the wall behind you. Notice how we're not going too high here and hyperextending that low back or bringing a deep arch. So we're just keeping it parallel to the body, parallel to the earth. Now this could be enough for you to start to light that core, to start to light that fire by drawing the navel in. Or maybe you shift your weight in your mind to your left hand without dumping the weight, and then you can reach your right arm out. Noticing here how I'm not letting my right shoulder kiss right ear. I'm not dumping my weight into that left arm. I'm adding to this posture by growing from the earth up. Press into the hand, press into the foot, and now play tug of war. Reach your left heel back as the right fingers extend forward. Inhale, get big in that chest. Lift your torso up. Nice, let's find our breath. Inhale to reach. Exhale, elbow and knee kiss. Upper body looks like cat posture in the spine. Inhale, extend. Try not to find too much movement in this left shoulder. Exhale, chin to chest. If this is too much, start with just the leg extending. Keep both arms on the ground. Kick the leg out. Exhale, bring the knee to center. One more, wherever you are, meet your body today. Inhale, extend. Exhale, squeeze. Nice job. Lower handprint, lower the knee down to the ground. Tuck the toes underneath you. We're going to take it up and back, but I really want you to sink your hips back first. Stretch out the soles of your feet. Press through your heels. Now we're going to take it up to down dog, but I want you to imagine that you're lifting from your tailbone first. Press into your handprints as you inhale. Lift up. Keep the knees bent as long as you can. And on the final exhale, sink the heels down to the ground. Pedal it out here just a little bit. Side to side. Let the head dangle. Quite literally, let anything that you're holding in your shoulders roll off your back. Release. Let it go. We're going to take a few cleansing breaths here. Walk your feet as wide as your yoga mat. Let your two big or baby toes touch the outside edges of your mat. As you inhale, lift your heels, come to the tippy tops of your toes. Take the breath in through the nose. And as you exhale, everyone, open your mouth. Sink your heels. Get loud, get big, you're at home. Inhale, lift up to your tippy toes. Here we go. One more. Inhale, lift as high as you can go. Lift those hips. As you exhale, open your mouth, press your chest to your thighs, push back. Let it go. Slowly with control, bend the knees. Bring it back down. Let the tops of your feet touch the ground. Walk yourself back. We're going to take it to the other side. But before we do, just sit on your heels for a second. Shake out your wrists. Roll them out here just a tad. If they're feeling a little stuck from that before we transition to the other side. Diving back into all fours. Stack shoulders over wrists. This time, we're going to take the right leg back. So taking that leg back, tuck the toes to begin. Press through the heel. Find a little movement so you can find the sensations of opening up the back side of that calf muscle, pushing through your heel, maybe coming a little forward, especially if you're starting to engage into arm balances in your yoga practice. These are great times to just start to practice the sensation or the concept of shifting your weight forward and starting to learn how to use your whole handprint to do so without producing unnecessary wrist strain. So just always kind of evolving in our practice, layering on. Bringing yourself back into center. Press firmly into the top of that left foot for support. As you inhale, lift the right leg, flex the foot. Be mindful here not to lift or open that right hip. So we want both hips facing straight down. Pressing through that right heel and flexing your back foot is going to help support what we call closing that hip out. Now this might be enough. Once again, you might be feeling your muscles hugging into your torso like that corset and holding you in here. If that's enough fire for you today, stay with just the leg lifted. If you'd like to take it up a notch, mentally we shift the weight to the right hand without really moving the body too much, and we extend that left arm out on an inhale. Left shoulder stays plugged in, but we're still actively extending and reaching out through the fingertips. Likely feeling that tricep muscle engage as you reach out. On the inhale, we lengthen, play tug of war with heel and fingertip, and as you exhale, we round the spine, draw the navel deep into the chest as knee and elbow kiss underneath the body. Inhale, we lengthen out. Exhale, squeeze it back. Bring it back to your breath. Inhale, find that space. Take your time, get big. Exhale, bring it on home. 2 more. Option to drop the hand. Inhale, take it just to the leg if that's what you need. Bring it on back, squeeze it in. Last one, you got it. Inhale, reach it out. Exhale, squeeze. Can you hold this one for just a moment? Lift that knee a little higher, press into your hand, go up, and release. Nice job. Taking the knees hip distance apart. Feel free to shake out that right wrist if necessary. Tuck the toes underneath you. Send the hips back. Maybe hips touch the heels. Torso is going to try to stay glued to the tops of our thighs as much as we can while we go up. As we inhale, we lift up from that tailbone. Keep yourself connected. Lift all the way up, and at the last moment, sink in. Heels to the ground, downward dog. Maybe a static down dog with breath serves you here. If you need to still pedal it out, we can take it there as well. In down dog, we internally rotate our legs to keep our heels behind our toes, using your inner thighs. In the upper body, you're finding that external rotation so that we can make space for the head to come between the arms, with each exhale pressing that heart deeper into our chest. Take your time here. Walk your hands back to meet your feet. Depending on where our hamstrings are at today, bring a bend into the knees that supports you. Hands come to the back of the mat. No matter where you are, everyone, sink your butt down. Let your torso touch your thighs. Take a heavy, heavy bend in the legs. Let the upper body surrender over the lower, draping the head down. Finding that traction once again here for the crown of the head to the earth. Pulling onto that low back. No gripping in the toes here. Maybe you take ragdoll, bend opposite elbow, find a little rock side to side. Once again, this is a really great way to just activate that parasympathetic nervous system. If you've ever been around a mom, a grandma, an aunt, anyone that's maybe even a dad, I guess I should not exclude our male species out of this, but if you ever notice when someone's holding a baby, they're generally rocking side to side, right? It's a very soothing sensation, not just because it calms babies, but behind the scenes of it is you're calming your nervous system down. You're smoothing the edges of those frayed nerves to allow yourself to take it to, again, that rest and digest system. So here, with our head below our heart in a slight inversion, we're redirecting the energy flow within the body by redirecting the way the blood is circulating. Finding a gentle rock side to side is activating that parasympathetic nervous system. Coming back to center, rooting through the 4 corners of your feet, bend into the knees, take your time. Inhale, breath is bringing you up to stand. Your fingertips are going to come up in the front of the legs, tracing the legs as you slowly imagine you're reawakening. That uncluttered mind is coming with you. That open body, let the shoulders roll up to the ears and down. Close your eyes. Take mountain pose. Allowing yourself to stand as tall as you possibly can at the back of your mat, fingertips plugging down to the earth. Crown of the head as tall as you can. Taking a second to just notice how you feel. Softness back into the knees, life into the lower body. As you inhale, reach your arms up to the sky. Look all the way up. And as you exhale, swan dive forward. Lead with your heart. Hips go back. Strong, long spine as long as you can. Collapse. Inhale, breath, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Root down, rise up. Inhale, come all the way back up to stand. Take that energy, and as you exhale, put it back in your heart, hands in prayer, heart position. Let's do that again. Softness to the knees, hands are going to go down to go up. As you inhale, reach all the way up to the sky. Maybe look up, option for a mini back bend. And as you exhale, fly forward, hips back, heart lifts, collapse down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Heel till your feet out. Let your toes point off the mat. Heels stay in. As you exhale, start to lower into your Yogi Squat. Now, this is going to be a little intense. If you cannot bring yourself into this shape and you're up here, feel free to bring a block, a bolster, a pillow underneath your booty so that you can slowly start to drop in. If you come into this shape and you're able to bring your elbows to the inside of your knees, bring your hands to your heart in prayer, you can think about pressing into your knees to press your heart forward, swinging that tailbone underneath you as the spine stays nice and long. Now, your hips are a little bit more warmed up in your practice, but it doesn't matter how warm they are, you're still going to have sensations in this shape. It's not good, it's not bad, it's not better, it's not worse. It just is. So take your time. If you need to come out, shake it out a little bit. Feel free to find some movement, but also see if you can find that surrender and just stay. Hands are going to come behind you when you're ready to come out of it. Support yourself sitting back down onto the mat. If you're really far back on your mat like I am, go ahead and scoot yourself forward. Just take a second to once again windshield wiper those legs side to side. Bringing yourself to the center of your mat, bending the knees. Yogi's choice once again as we find our final resting posture. You can use your hands to support. You can use your elbows to come down to. Before you come down to your mat, if you brought a blanket, a pillow, a sweater to your practice or your space, go ahead and grab that so that when we arrive on our spine, we can find a surrender that supports our comfort and allows us to just spend a couple more moments here within stillness and supporting our body. Letting your legs go up nice and long, letting the arms come alongside the body, and just taking a second to close your eyes. Noticing now how uncluttered and free the mind feels. Hopefully you have found the space within your mind to only allow the thoughts and the emotions to come back that serve you. It doesn't mean that hard feelings or challenging times or discomfort is never coming back, because inevitably it will. But the more times we show up on our mat and practice being mindful, practice uncluttering the mind, the more able we'll be to release those emotions, to release those thoughts. Taking a moment here to just notice how you feel. Scanning from head to toe. And above anything, being proud of yourself for carving out this time for you. To spend some moments with your breath. Becoming accountable for your emotions. And knowing that our emotions don't define us. That our emotions are generally caused by our thoughts. And the more times we can check in with our thoughts, regulate those thoughts, release that which is not serving us, we can then have a better handle on our emotions and how we handle ourselves. And from there,
everything else falls into place, right? The way we handle ourselves, the way we handle life's challenges, the way we interact with others, all of that stems from how we think. From me to you, I hope you have the most amazing Sunday. I hope you feel refreshed and renewed. And I hope you enter into this holiday season allowing yourself to be present, being mindful of each moment that you're in, absorbing all the good, releasing the stress, and just being. Namaste.